Hello, guys, and welcome to the Spurs-related YouTube channel. Your Spurs-related live stream is here once again every week, and as always, I'm joined by a co-host today. We've got Michael all the way from
Hey
South
guys.
Africa. Michael, how's it going? Did you enjoy the international break?
I mean, international breaks are always kind of a slog because we all want to get back to league football, but it was quite an eventful one. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of like international breaks and sort of, do you look forward to an international break? Because I was talking to some of my colleagues the other day, and I was saying like, do you look forward to the international break? And a lot of them are saying like it's boring. I don't watch it. I'd rather watch Coronation Street. And I'm thinking,
Wouldn't go that far.
yeah, exactly that. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't. It is annoying. Like it is
Mm.
really annoying. But I think on the flip side, you got to think about it as well. Everyone loves the Euros. Everyone loves the World
Exactly.
Cup.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
this is a
like
necessary part of it.
exactly. It's almost like you have to. I don't know what the saying is, but you always have to put up with the
Mm.
rough, and then you get the smooth at the end of it,
Yeah,
and you
for
get to
sure.
watch a class World Cup. Hopefully, England. I think they've got a very good chance. I know it's early days saying it yet, but the squad that's coming through is looking
Mhm.
unbelievable. You've even got
I agree
getting
there.
youngsters involved. Bellingham's coming through. Emil
Mhm.
Smith Rowe looks like quite a good player, as much as that's me to say. So,
Yeah.
we've got some talent coming through. So, sort of, what are your thoughts on England as a whole? Do you think they have a chance in Qatar? Obviously, next year at the end of the year now, isn't it? So, talk me through what your thoughts are with England's chances.
Yeah, I think England do have a chance. I mean, if you look at the history, I mean, obviously this doesn't equate to they'll win the World Cup, but they got to the semi-final in 2018, and then obviously the final of the Euros. So if that continues, then the only logical next stage is to win. That's a bit of a stretch, but
Mm,
yeah, no, they could do it. I don't see why they couldn't do it if Italy can come from where they were, not qualifying for the World Cup and then winning the Euros, etc., etc. There's
very true.
there's no reason they couldn't. Obviously, and we know the squad they've got is incredibly strong, and a lot of the players are still nowhere near the peak of their game. So I think basically the only player there that I can think of that would probably outfield player maybe Pickford sort of peaked, but Kane's probably the only one who's at his highest level right now, and that's maybe Sterling, and that's kind of scary because the rest of them are pretty good already.
Mm,
So yeah,
exactly
and
that. You
Maguire,
got
Maguire,
you got
Maguire is
Phil
probably the best.
Foden. Phil Foden's 20 or 21 years old.
Mm,
You've got, Emil Smith Rowe. I mentioned it. He's like 18, 19 years old.
yeah,
You've
Bellingham is
obviously got
scary.
you got Saka, who's very
Yeah,
young.
yeah,
You got Bellingham, who's like 18. It's
mm,
unbelievable the talent we've got
very
going
true.
through, and some of them
Yeah,
look like they could play for most nations out there
mm,
already. So
for sure.
it's promising signs. The only one thing that I'm worried about with England is the fact that defense doesn't blow me away.
Yeah,
It's like Harry Maguire's obviously
mm,
dubious, and we'll go on to that about
yeah,
the celebration. There was a lot of talks,
yeah,
especially in England,
mm,
about his celebration with the fingers to the
yeah.
ears, and
The massive knee slide.
yeah, and
Mm,
obviously he scored again. He scored in both games. Let's be honest, the caliber of opponent wasn't brilliant, but
yeah,
you can only play what's in front of you. But yeah,
true.
it was
True.
a very dodgy decision, and it's had a lot of controversy over doing a knee slide
Yeah,
against Albania.
yeah,
Go on, while we're on the subject, what were your
yeah.
thoughts on that?
I thought, I mean, he can do it if he wants. It's not really offensive to anyone, but also I feel like the main thing that I found odd about it wasn't that he did this massive celebration against the side like that. It's that he did this massive celebration against the side like that, which looked like he was doing it like, yeah, look, you criticized me, and now look where I am. Whereas
Mm,
he scored a goal against Albania, and he's a centre back anyway. It's not like he put in an amazing defensive performance. Not that you'd knee slide for that, but you know what I mean. It's like
yeah, I
what
know.
is it's not that doesn't really prove anyone wrong, which is yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It was an odd decision.
yeah.
Um, I
Could have just
think,
been a heat of the moment sort of thing. Like he was
yeah,
hyped from scoring and he
emotion,
didn't plan it.
exactly. Emotions get to players, and at the end of the day, we all know the amount of abuse a player can get on social
Mm,
media, and from
mm,
the press, on all these kind of forms,
yeah,
and obviously Man United. He's been at the forefront of their problems for a little while now, and
yeah,
the fans are turning on their defence and a lot of their teams. So to do it for England, which is kind of not silencing the haters because he's got to do it in a Man United. If he
sure.
scored for Man United against, I don't know,
Norwich.
a lower league side.
Yeah.
There's the parallel you can sort of get away with doing it with.
No, for sure. That's different.
But he scored for England against a team that is literally second bottom, right? Like just in front of San Marino, and it's like,
and that's basically bottom then. I mean, everyone's beating San Marino, so.
But ironically, he's not proving anyone wrong because, like you just said, he's not exactly doing what he's being criticised for. He's not putting an amazing defensive display. You know, we know that a player can be horrendous defensively and then pop up with a header. I mean, I'm thinking of the likes of
Maguire. I mean, that's the thing. Everyone says, he's horrendous defensively, but he gets a slab on everything. That's,
Exactly. I don't understand it. But I mean, I don't understand also what all the fuss was about. I was listening to TalkSport on the way home on Wednesday, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's ridiculous, Harry Maguire. You should be embarrassed." I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's like I said, it's nothing offensive to anyone. It's just what I see as an odd personal decision. It's not like I don't think it's something that he should be ashamed of, especially because it was probably because of the heat of the moment, emotional sort of thing. So
yeah, I agree.
Doesn't harm anyone.
Exactly. Moving on. Obviously, let's talk about it. The main man, Harry Kane, obviously 1 goal for Tottenham so far this year in the Premier League. And scores 7 in 2 games, and it wasn't even 2 games because he got subbed off on 60 on the San Marino game. So, what are your thoughts on Harry Kane? Do you think his form will continue into the weekend, or do you think he's just scored against a couple of poor opposition that probably shouldn't even be in the qualifying stages of a European finals? What do you think?
I think his form will improve for Tottenham inevitably anyway with Conte, and this might just give him a boost. But I don't think he's going to be able to take scoring first half hat tricks into the Leeds game or any other really in the Premier League.
Exactly.
So it's an indicator that he's obviously getting back to his. It could be an indicator that he'll get back to somewhere near his best in league football, but I wouldn't get so hyped about it, just especially in terms of how it translates to Tottenham performances. But I mean, it's great to see that he's done this, and even though it is against much lower opposition compared to England, it's still nice for him to get this personal, 4-1 and a perfect hat trick in another. That's nice, but it doesn't. It's not going to necessarily translate to the goal. 4 goals in 40 minutes against Leeds? I don't think that's going to happen for us, let alone Kane alone. But
let's see. I agree with what you're saying, and I think obviously, it can only do him good, right? The guy looked absolutely buzzing, even to score 4 goals against San Marino. The guy, he forgot what goal was.
Yeah,
exactly that. And for someone that was so used to scoring sort of 1 goal every 2 games, sometimes even more, correct me if I'm wrong, but it would obviously knock your confidence, and it would. You're starting to think, well, I was scoring 20 goals a season before. I'm not now scoring, but okay, I've just scored 4 goals against San Marino. I've just scored 3 against Albania. Now I can kick on. Now I can start scoring again. I've got the confidence. I know it might have been a little, I don't know, little problem where I was having a goal drought, but now I can kick on.
Definitely should be a foundation.
Wayne Bonner, welcome on in, mate. Hope you're having a good evening so far. He says Kane in those 2 England games has now laid the foundation he has built on for the rest of the season. Exactly what we're saying here, Wayne. I completely agree with you, mate. It's just spot on. Like, Kane didn't have the foundations. He only had 1 goal, and obviously 2 in the Europa League qualifiers, and it's not even Europa League Conference, and it's like, he now can kick on. If he then scores against Leeds, suddenly we're looking at the Harry Kane we had last season, where we couldn't stop scoring in a team that was very, very average. Let's be honest. I mean, we finished 7th by the skin of our teeth.
While he scored the most goals and had the most assists in the league. That's I wonder how many times that's happened in history.
That's impressive in its own, isn't it? That is impressive in its own, really. But no, Wayne, we 100% agree with you. I'm sure Michael does as well. Guys, before we continue, obviously, make sure you hit that like button if you are in the stream. It does help us out a lot. And obviously, ask us any questions. We're happy to bring up pretty much every comment. So we'll discuss all your comments. So don't be shy. Get those comments in the section, and we'll answer those in full depth, I'm sure. But Michael, in terms of the Leeds game, what are your fears and what are your sort of positives to take into the game? Obviously, Harry Kane being a main one, but obviously we look at Steven Bergwijn yesterday getting the winner and an assist in the last 10 minutes to take Netherlands through to the World Cup. And it was a good goal, by the way. And I have been one of Bergwijn's biggest critics. I'm not a fan of the guy in terms of his ability. I don't think he's world class. I really don't. I mean, it's very
not great, but
exactly. But it's only a positive. Like we've seen such negativity with Bergwijn, and his performances have been very, very poor. So let's just see if the guy can produce some stuff for England.
Again, a confidence boost.
Huge confidence boost. Huge. And Bergwijn's not one to score often at all. So, yeah, I've heard he was very, very good yesterday. I saw the goal. It was a quality goal. Let's just see how it does. Crocodiles, sorry, I probably pronounced that wrong. Crocodiles, sorry. Don't know about you two, but I'm strangely calm about the Romero injury. You're only as good as your weakest link, and I have faith in Conte improving defence enough until January. That's a fair point. I would say when I saw the news, I wasn't calm. I wasn't like panicking, but at the end of the day, the guy has been our standout defender so far this year by probably quite a long shot. And
which is what we expected. I mean, when he came in, that was the whole idea.
And I would argue, if you had to say 3 players, please don't get injured, he is in one of the 3. And that's what concerns me, in the fact that he is in the core of the team. That defense almost relies on him a lot of the time. And, I'm obviously praying it's not for too long, but I'm hearing stuff like, I just don't even want to speculate, but there's no official time yet, but it did look a nasty one. And I don't know. It's a thigh, left upper thigh. So I don't know. I don't know in terms of calm, but Leeds aren't the best in attack at the moment, and but that doesn't give an excuse. I mean, Romero could be out for a few weeks, and it shouldn't give an excuse anyway. Like, we want to be fielding our best 11 whenever we can, so it's a concern, and I hope for the life of me that we do not see him out for too long, but time will tell.
I do feel calm about it now, but I feel like and I wasn't initially when I saw the news. I was like, sort of like, oh, okay, that's not great. But I think part of that's because I don't know how long it's going to be for. Like, if an article had to come out tomorrow saying that it's official, it's confirmed that Romero is on for 3 months, I'd be less calm than I am now, not knowing that. So
yeah, and your second part about sort of improving the defense enough till January, he can only work with what he's got. I mean, he's got Ben Davies that's talking about being a left centre back. We've got obviously Sanchez, who's been rocky. We've got Dyer, who's always rocky. We've got Rodon, who never seems to be given a chance. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tanganga's now back available. So we do have options, but they're rocky options. That's the best way I'd explain it. And Conte's only got so much in his power to turn these players that haven't been good for Spurs for the last few years into suddenly absolute solid players. It doesn't happen. You can improve tactics and you can improve strategy to combat attacks, but you can't improve a defender in terms of his ability by that much. You just can't. Yeah. And that's the thing I fear about. Dyer's always got a mistake in him. Sanchez has always got a mistake in him. And Romero was that solid unit that will come out, win the ball, command that defense. And he is a leader. And it's like, it's a big hole. I think it's a big hole. And I really hope come the Leeds game, we won't be discussing this anymore, because I don't want to curse anything, but there is a massive chance that defense will not be solid against Leeds. And I obviously really hope that doesn't happen, but it's a big risk, isn't it, Michael?
Yeah. Yeah, as you said, Romero is obviously a very key part of it. And I think in terms of Conte improving players, I mean, he does that in every squad he goes to, but especially in terms of defense, he's not going to be able to improve every single one of them to the level where they're going to be adequate replacements. Well, not adequate; they have to be adequate if they're in the side instead of him. But where they're going to be on Romero's level, week in, week out. You can't do that for the entire defense.
Exactly that. And it's like if we lost Son and then we lost maybe Højbjerg,
Højbjerg's in there.
Højbjerg obviously hasn't had the best season so far, but I'd still be concerned if we lost him because
and
it would
his
be
mentality alone is so important. And then Lloris would probably be the other one. If I had to make a list of 3, it'd be Lloris, probably Son and Højbjerg, that I wouldn't want to get injured.
Yeah, spot on. We've got a comment here from Brody. Welcome on into the stream, mate. I hope you're doing well. And he says, Vlahovic over Kane, thoughts?
Not at the moment.
Yeah, not at the moment.
Having him in the squad, sure, but not as a replacement for Kane now. I wouldn't get rid of Kane itself and buy Vlahovic.
Do you think that Vlahovic would be happy coming to Spurs knowing he's second string to Kane? I think Vlahovic is a replacement for Kane.
Yeah.
When inevitably Kane moves on, and you know it might not happen, but it's looking very likely. He'll probably go next summer, and it's like.
But then is Vlahovic even going to be available? He might have signed for someone else by then.
This is it, isn't it? So it's a really tough one. At the moment, Vlahovic is not a better striker than Kane. Kane is still, for me, one of the top 3-4 strikers in the world.
Top 2.
Vlahovic can get to that level, and he's only 21 years old. This is what you got to remember, and he's unbelievable. You know, he's scoring for Fiorentina, who again are a bit of a Spurs in terms of they're probably not even
around him.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's not like they're like, you know, top 4 quality at the moment for Fiorentina. They're probably, correct me if I'm wrong, well, we can have a look where they are in the table, but he's still scoring like a lot of goals in that team. And I mean, they're 7th, so it's pretty much parallel to Spurs, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, like I said, you know, can he come and do it for Spurs? Can he come and be our Harry Kane? Who knows? But at the moment, we've got Harry Kane and we've got a guy that's suddenly started scoring again. And I just pray that he starts coming to score for Tottenham as well, because we have missed it and we need goals badly. And I pray to anything in existence that will help this, but we have had no shots on goal for 5 halves of football. That's 2.5 games of football. No one has shot at the goalkeeper to try and score a goal, which you need goals to win a game.
I don't know if enough people are talking about how worrying that really is.
That is such a concern. It's not even like we played like Man City and Chelsea. We've played West Ham in the second half. We didn't have a shot and we were chasing the game. That's a concern alone, right? Because how are we going to even get a draw if we don't even shoot?
Yeah,
I'd have been more happy if Lloris had a shot from the halfway line, right? Then we've got then we had obviously Everton last game where no one shot. Like that is we even had a free kick on 20 yards out. We had multiple corners, still no shots on target. I mean, it's pathetic, really.
Yeah.
And the game before that, we also didn't have a shot on target. My mind's gone blank as to who it was.
Before West Ham was Man United.
No. After West Ham, who did we have in the league?
Oh, in the league, didn't it go? Ooh, let me just double check.
Honestly, my brain is absolutely fried from the whole talk about everything else. It was
Burnley. No, that was Kill.
No, that was.
It was West Ham. Then it was Man United after West Ham.
Man United. That's it. Man United.
Before it was
the Man United game.
Newcastle. Yeah.
So that's the Man. No, it was the Man United game.
Around. Yeah.
So it was the Man United game, and we didn't have a shot on target against them either. And it's just like absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
And the fact that we made Man United look good that game was so annoying. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, we got Conte out of it, and people would say we won the war and we didn't win the battle. But
just the performance alone, if you ignore the external factors and what it led to, that was pretty scary for us.
But the thing that concerns me, sorry, Michael, the thing that concerns me is if we do not shoot all game against Leeds, we break the record for the most amount of games consecutively for not having a shot on target.
Then, like our personal club record?
No. That's a Premier League record. All clubs ever.
Do we get a trophy for that?
Exactly. That's the next thing, innit? You know that's coming.
Yeah.
We're gonna get memed about it. You know, we've won the Audi Cup. We've won the most attendance in the for a Premier League game. All this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just most Champions League attendance at Wembley. All this kind of stuff, and then we've got hasn't had a shot on target for 3.5 games of football. Can you imagine?
If we don't break that record and people latch onto that, then it's going to be a matter of, you came second in that too. Where's the runners-up medal?
It's a loss at this point, Michael.
Yeah.
It's a loss. Wayne's in there again. He says, with the Romero injury, I wait till our medical staff check out on him. Exactly that, and that is why SpursRelated haven't actually posted anything about that for all of you guys wondering, because we want the official up-to-date details. But with Bergwijn, I still believe we should play him on the right when he gets a run out. Yeah.
I don't know, because if Conte is playing the wing backs, then where?
This is exactly what I was going to say. My thought is, Conte's playing 5 at the back, so where does Lucas, Bergwijn?
I mean, it was a front three. It was a front three against Everton, and I think it was the same. It was the exact same lineup against Vitesse, but that's
Yeah, it was a 5. It was a 5-2-3. But the point is, I still don't know where Bergwijn fits in. I'd always play Lucas Moura over Bergwijn.
But I do think Lucas Moura is better centrally. Not as a striker, obviously, but in the midfield position. But I would still play Lucas over Bergwijn, even on the wing at the moment. But maybe given his international form, Conte will give him a chance. But we'll see. The thing is, though, the front three is obviously very narrow because the wing backs. It's not they're not wide like they are if you're playing 4 at the back. So with that said, I wonder if playing Son. It's going back to the Vlahovic discussion. Sorry to jump back, but playing Son just behind Kane and Vlahovic might be a possibility. Son is in sort of like a centre forward, not so much attacking midfield position. Might be an interesting option, but I don't think that's something you'd want to do. I don't think you'd want to go through with buying Vlahovic with the promise of giving him first team football day in, day out, week in, week out.
It's just not. It wouldn't happen.
With when you haven't really tried that. So I don't know.
Absolutely. Just got a comment here from Bro D. Says, thanks, my bro. You've been doing a great job in here. I've also got a Spurs page, but haven't been encouraged by the audience. I'd appreciate if you could shout me out. Sky Spurs News. Guys, go check Bro D out. You know, why not? We'll give him a shout out. You know, shout out to yourself for joining our stream. So, yeah, go check out his stuff, guys. Why not? You know, we like helping the community on here. And you guys can help us out too by, if you're on YouTube or Facebook watching us live, hit that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe. And even if you want to go even further for us, turn on those notifications when we go live. That would be absolutely brilliant. And you don't understand how much it helps out the channel, guys. We're trying to grow this as a proposition, and in terms of just interacting with more and more people. That's part of the show. You know, we ask all your questions. We answer all your questions. So yeah, guys, make sure you get involved and show your support and love. That would be really appreciated. Yeah, so going back to the Leeds game, like, what are your thoughts on it in terms of, you know, Leeds obviously in poor form, one of the worst form teams in the Premier League, and probably
very near the bottom.
Exactly, yeah, I think they're 15th.
15th, yeah.
That is compared to Leeds last year. That is a considerable difference. So, do you think they started so well as well, Leeds last year? So, do you think Leeds have to come off of this international break and get points? Well, that's a silly question. Of course they do. But do you think they will really be up for it? Do you think they'll come out the blocks and they will cause us problems?
They'll want to, for sure. But it's hard to tell given their previous form. I mean, they'll know they have to. But knowing something's necessary and actually being able to go through with doing something about it are very different things. But I'm sure they'll give it their all, as they have to and always do under Bielsa. But we'll have to see. I'm just looking. They've only lost 1 in their last 5 league games, which is interesting because, you know, it looks like a pretty dire situation. But two of the others have been draws. So, and I'm assuming a lot of them before that have been losses. But they will probably they'll come out firing. It's almost a matter of survival at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think they'll survive. I don't think there's any questions about that unless their form really deteriorates even further. But I just feel like my prediction, if I went with a prediction, I'd go 3-1 Spurs. And the reason being, I feel like without Romero and Leeds like a goal, like if you remember last year, they were either winning a game 4-3 or they were losing a game 4-2. You know,
even this season against Man United, the first game they got 1. Was it 5? Did it finish 5-1 or 5-2 to Man United? Either way, I know what you're talking about. Like, they can get absolutely thrashed, but still score 1 or 2. So,
yeah, absolutely. I think I think they will score. I do,
Mm.
and that's not to say I still think we're going to win 3-1. But I think you know, Rafinha's looking like another player that's just kicking on even more. I'm sure he'll be linked with probably the top clubs in the world very soon, if not already.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just
Rafinha's
feel
probably.
like obviously they've missed Bamford. I don't think he's back for the game. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Okay,
but
no.
I think that's a big thing for them. Patrick Bamford scored so many goals last season and was sort of part of their success, probably the main factor, him and Rafinha. And it's like, when you lose that, it's a bit like us losing our Harry Kane. And it's like...
Well, he was up there with the top scorers in the league.
Exactly. I believe he was top 5. But,
Mm.
Again, it's like, you've got to look at that and think, will Leeds be better with him? Will they go back to their normal form from last year? So... I mean, we're going with the present in terms of what I think. 3-1 because I think Leeds are brittle in defence, and I think they're conceding a lot of goals. And I think we will score 3. I got a feeling about it, and we need to. It's about time we won a game considerably, and not maybe scrape a 1-0 or you think our first 3 games under Nuno was a 1-0 win.
Yeah.
I'm you know what? If you get 3 points, you get 3 points. It doesn't matter how pretty it is. But I think it's time we turned up, put on a real show for the fans, and got 3 goals. I think it's going to happen. I don't know what you think.
I wouldn't be surprised if it happened at all, but I would probably take a little bit more of a cautious approach in a prediction and say maybe a 2-1, maybe a 2-0, but I don't see them not scoring, as you say, and especially if Romero is still out, that'll be a problem. So I don't know if it'll be that convincing in terms of the amount of goals we score, but I hope it is, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is, obviously. And I mean, we know obviously Kane's probably got his confidence back. Bergwijn, as we've talked about, Son scored a penalty for South Korea, but he's scoring in the league anyway, so that's not a massive difference. And another thing is that Skip's suspended for the game, obviously, given his booking at Everton. So we're going to have to assume Winks is coming into the side for him. But Winks
I think he'll play. No, I don't think he'll play Winks. I think he'll play. I think he'll play Ndombele, and I think he'll play Højbjerg, and I think he'll see how it works. Because Ndombele has to start performing for 90 minutes. We can't have any of this. I'm going to play sort of 10 minutes. I'm going to play sort of 60 minutes. The guy is a professional footballer. He needs to start playing full games. So I think we'll see. I think we're saying I see it in Ndombele. I really hope we don't see Winks. But that's just my honest opinion.
And who do you think is going to be in the number 10 role?
Yeah, I thought you'd ask this one. So, providing he goes with a 5-2-1-2, right?
Yeah.
Personally, I would want Lucas Moura in that number 10.
I was going to say Moura, and then
with Kane and Son up top, and it can be a fluid 3 as well, because we know Kane drops back to receive the ball.
Exactly.
We know
Moura
Lucas
can go out
Moura
wide if he needs to.
Exactly.
That's
So I would do that, and I would the back 5. I think he's going to play Ben Davies less centre back, as much as I'm really not too excited about that.
Yeah, he did okay against Everton. I wouldn't say he had a bad game.
No,
it wasn't his best performance, but
it wasn't much to do though. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
left
wing back, you got to go obviously Reguilon. Right wing back, Emerson, who
good.
I was going to say he is kicked on. I was quite dubious about the guy, but obviously still early days. But he's doing all right, and he was man of the match. Was it against Vitesse, I believe? So
Yeah, he was.
And then the 3 centre backs, presuming Romero is out, which he is out of the game.
I think Sanchez will come in for him. What do you think?
I think it's going to be Dyer no matter what.
Yeah.
I think it will be Sanchez. You're right, and I think Ben Davies, and that scares me. The fact that
it's not a very exciting factory.
It makes me feel sick. Thinking about it. Ben Davies, Eric Dyer, and Davinson Sanchez. We're talking spineless. Let's be honest. I mean,
maybe Tanganga at right centre back would be a little bit. I'd be more convinced seeing Tanganga there.
I want to see Tanganga, but I know it's not going to happen. I don't think Conte's potentially seen him as a starter yet, or maybe he has, but I don't.
Maybe
think
Joe Rodon. I'd rather see Joe Rodon, Dyer, and Tanganga. I know that the other two are very inexperienced.
I would agree.
I'll
I
just see
would
that.
completely agree with you. That's what I'd want to. But I was guessing sort of what I think he'll start.
Yeah, of course. No, I would agree. I agree with that. But if I was Antonio Conte, which clearly not, that's what I would want to see. But again, we also have to remember he's seeing them. Well, he hasn't seen most of them for training in a while, but before this, he's been observing them and seeing them in training, and he's going to know what's best, hopefully.
Absolutely. Thomas says YouTube will remove the dislike button soon. What do you have to say? I have to say hit the thumbs up button for now. Let's not worry about the dislike button. But my thoughts on it very briefly, without too much on topic, is probably good because if people see dislikes, they get very demotivated to upload. They think their channel's bad. And it's just one person's opinion and you shouldn't listen to it. So that is my opinion, mate. But make sure you hit the thumbs up button this time. And yeah, thanks for your comment. Brody again says, what are your thoughts on Conte banning ketchup, mayonnaise and more impacting on the team? My thoughts are, ban them from whatever as long as they start winning games. Potentially a bit of a weird one, but, we've seen it at other clubs. Apparently, Ronaldo's come in and suddenly the Man United players don't eat their, chocolate pudding now. I mean, come on. I mean, do we believe half of it?
I don't know if it's going to make it, if it provided it's true, which is a bit of an if, but I don't think it's going to make a massive difference in terms of on the pitch performances. But either way, it's something. It shows some sort of structure and leadership, which is nice.
Yeah. I mean, again, the thing is, we're clutching at straws. We don't know how true it is. I mean, it's a story that's circulated. It could be completely made up. But if we go with it's true, like I said, do everything we can to win games.
I think as the goal did say it happened, but I'm not sure what his source on that was. I don't know.
It'd be what I don't know what his source is.
All right, great stream, everyone.
Sorry, you set me up for that. Well, you said it, and it was going through my head. I thought you said sources in. Anyway, that's probably going to be clipped. Paz is in here. Big up Paz. He says, hopefully Kane will score a hat-trick against Leeds. I think he should score 4, Paz, to be honest with you. He's done it against San Marino. Why can't he do it against Leeds?
Really.
Marcelino's in here. Welcome on in, my friend. He says, what do you guys think about his defensive partnership? Romero, Dyer in the middle, and Sanchez in for Davies. My thoughts are Romero's injured, but if you're talking about the future, my thoughts are Romero in the middle, like you said, Michael, spot on. And Sanchez and Dyer scare the living daylights out of me. They always will do. And unless a miracle happens and they suddenly don't make defensive mistakes, you're not going to change my mind on that, I'm afraid. We need a new centre-back in January. That is no hiding from that. I think we'll get our man. Sven Botman's being talked about, Bastoni, De Vrij. Just get one of them in. Knows how to defend. They defend in a tough league, Serie A, solid league, famous for defenders. Just get one of them in, please. I mean, Sven Botman, obviously not Serie A, but you understand what I'm saying. It's just like
what we've seen so far from Davis as left-sided centre back. I'd probably have him in over Sanchez, but we haven't seen too much of it yet.
Yeah, that's true. You want that left-footed player, exactly that. Let's just see what happens
on that side.
Terence Tibbs, welcome on in, mate. He says, my nan could have scored a hat-trick against San Marino.
Probably, but could she do it in the first half?
Yeah, could she do it in the first half? And she's got to be banned from that source as well. I don't understand what some of them are saying. Antonio Vlahovic Rajan signing. Who's saying that? I saw some links with Mikel Antonio. I mean, wait, someone
he's
said
not
that
coming.
in the stream. Wait,
no, we didn't say it in this stream. We haven't talked about Mikel Antonio. Obviously, we talked about Vlahovic, but no.
Oh, if we get Mikel Antonio, no, we're not. A, it's not going to happen. B,
I mean, he wouldn't leave West Ham to come and play as a backup. He literally takes our first choice here.
But Michael, forget all that. He takes the piss when he scores against us and does stupid celebrations. He's not going to come to Spurs. He probably hates us.
Yeah, of course. But I'm trying to say he wouldn't leave West Ham for anyone as second choice right now. I don't think he'd go to Man City as backup now. If he was going to be playing week in week out, he's getting the game time at West Ham. They're doing quite well. Why would he leave?
Exactly.
Second choice, and they'd probably demand a lot from him, especially if Spurs went in for him, provided he would want to leave, which is very unlikely. So.
Yeah, spot on. Agree. Bro is in here again. He says Martinez an ideal replacement for
Emi
Hugo.
Martinez. I wouldn't mind seeing Emi Martinez come in.
Would he come though? Ex-Arsenal player.
I mean, he was their backup for a while. They kind of said, "Get out, we prefer Leno."
Yeah,
When
but he
went to
was
play.
he played that game where they won the FA Cup or Community Shield, didn't he? So, he's won a trophy with Arsenal. Do you think he's gonna come in at
He is
Tottenham?
29 though, which I didn't know. I didn't know he was 29. I thought he was a lot younger. So maybe.
Yeah, but you've got to remember with a keeper, keeper. Look at Buffon still playing. It's
It would depend on the
unbelievable.
price. If he wanted to come to Spurs, I mean, only he could really say that. I don't think he'd be that against it. It's not like he's a legend at Arsenal. He's not been their first choice for years, and then he moved on. And I don't think that's the case. But
Yeah, spot
I
on.
wouldn't mind seeing him come in.
Darshan's back again. He says, saw on the Spurs web Insta page, one of our fans said that.
He's talking about Antonio, yeah.
Whoever said it, then I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, if you guys
Doesn't seem
genuinely,
that plausible to me.
honestly, if someone out there genuinely in their head thinks that Mikel Antonio, feasible or not, would come to Tottenham and be a better replacement than Vlahovic. I mean,
is that the discussion? I don't know.
That's what the comment was. Look,
Yeah.
that is unbelievable.
I didn't notice the greater than sign. Okay, that's
yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking that's why I'm stunned, Michael. And I'm thinking there's someone out there that genuinely thinks Mikel Antonio would be a better.
More than one if it's become a debate.
Oh my god! Honestly, I can name you about 200 strikers I'd rather sign than Mikel Antonio.
He's 10 years older than Vlahovic. He's 31. Yes, he scores a few, but he's okay. That's a bit of an. He does score a lot. He's pretty reliable for West Ham. But if you think of his injury problems and his age, and obviously the club he's at, and the fact that he wouldn't come here, and all of that together, I don't think it's a very sound argument, is it?
No. It's just not. It's just not. No.
I don't know why he's linked with him, to be honest.
I don't know. It's actually kind of depressing, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's move on. Mine says, "Hi guys, can't join your chat today. Got semester finals exams ahead of tomorrow. Wish me best of luck, my man. Go and smash your exams.
Good luck.
And then you will get a nice reward on Sunday where we get a nice win against Leeds. And I can't wait for someone to come and clip this when we lose. But that's what you're going to get, my man, and all the best for that.
Or when he doesn't pass his exams. And we lose.
Don't say that, Michael.
Good luck,
Come on. By the way, happy for Kane in his break. I hope he will be back soon. Fingers crossed. Exactly. We've just been discussing it. My friend, we really do hope and think that Harry Kane will be back to his best, and certainly having a shot on target is the other thing. I mean, honestly, if we get to half time against Leeds and we haven't had a shot on target, I'm at the game on Sunday. I'll run on the pitch, right?
Yeah.
And well, that's not going to solve anything, is it?
No,
but
you said it. Carry on.
well, I'm going to go and shoot for them. Like, even if, someone shoot, please. Like, it's not much to ask. Please, someone shoot. I don't even care if it's Emerson from 45 yards. Please, just don't get to half time.
Any sort of save from their keeper.
Can you imagine 6 halves, 3 whole games without a shot on target in the Premier League? It just cannot. It's not a thing.
That's not normal. That's unnatural.
That's not normal. Normal. Honestly, I will lose my head if we get to half time and we haven't had a shot on target, because that is appalling. No matter who the manager is, no matter who the players are, Norwich are getting shots on target.
Exactly.
It's just the basics of football. You can't play a game of football and not shoot. It's just so frustrating.
We saw some positive signs, not in terms of that, obviously, because the only positive signs in terms of that would be getting a shot on target or a goal. But I did like the energy against Everton. That was nice to see. The pressing and people were running, which was nice.
Definitely.
Some progress.
Definitely.
So if we can combine that with actually some attacking ability, not ability, we know they have ability, but some attacking desire, then that'd be nice.
Spot on. Yeah. Sean says, welcome on in, by the way. Hope you're doing well. He says, all players have had a good international break. Confidence boost, I hope. Exactly. Sometimes the international break can come at a good time. And in a way, I think it did come at a good time for Spurs because, obviously we weren't shooting on goal. We weren't playing particularly well. The players looked a bit, out of kilter. But now they've gone away. Kane's got obviously masses of confidence. Bergwijn will have got masses of confidence. Lloris, I think he kept a clean sheet the other night. All these factors build up, and you're thinking, yes, now we can kick on. Now these players can come back with morale boosted, their tails held high, and just play well. Like, don't ask for a team. Like, I'm not asking Spurs to win 4-5-0 on Sunday. I'm asking Spurs to come out the blocks and really have some desire. Yeah. I thought we just lost you for a minute, Michael. What happened there?
Was it very still, or did something?
Yeah. You just went spinny circle. I thought you just had enough of me.
Oh no, I'm still here.
Would Antonio want to move from a flying West Ham side down to Tottenham Hotspur thing? Exactly this. I mean, it's true. I mean, I'm sorry, it is true.
You're right.
Sign Dusan Vlahovic. Please, can we sign him? Yeah, we're going. Zakir says London is red G. Well, whatever keeps you happy, mate. Like, if that's what you have to tell yourself before you go to sleep, mate, I'm all for it.
He might be talking about the ketchup we thrown on. I assume that's why he's here. It's probably not a shirt color.
You mean the ketchup?
Yeah.
Is that like a really bad joke or something?
Yes, it is.
That's shocking. I was just like thinking, like, is he actually being serious? Your mouth wasn't like, you weren't even smirking. But anyway, back to being in the zone.
No,
London's not red.
Talk about that one.
London is not red, my friend. If anything, it's claret and blue right now, as much as that hurts me to say it. But, I mean, it's certainly not red. Let's be honest.
Isn't it sad that we've got to this point where we can't even say it's our shirt color? We have to just say it's a different shirt color to the one you said, but still, it's not ours. At the moment.
It's horrendous. It's not even, it's horrendous. This January, we'll see the intentions as a club pay the money for Dusan. I think...
Is Dusan the priority right now? I mean, let's get him, but if we get him and not a centre back, or maybe not a creative midfielder, or anyone creative, I'd definitely rather wait and potentially not get Dusan at all and let someone else sign him and sign a great centre back and a creative midfielder in January. If it's one or both of those, or Dusan, I'd take those.
I think it's the balance factor because if you just sign a centre back, great, but then January summer comes, Kane goes, Vlahovic has gone to another club like you mentioned earlier. Now what? Ideally, there's no excuse why we can't. Why can't we go and get Vlahovic, a centre back, and a box-to-box midfielder like we need?
Sure.
Why can't we? There is no reason on earth why we can't sign 3 players in January. There is nothing stopping us from signing 3 players in January.
Remember, Vlahovic is priced at 70 to 80 million by Fiorentina. That's the only thing.
Okay, but this is what I was saying to people the other day. Yes, that's a lot of money to pay, but there's 2 things here. One thing is you don't buy it. One thing is you don't spend £1 billion on a stadium and not fill it with nice furniture. The second thing is we're the most sustainable club after COVID, and our profit and losses over the last few years. If you remember, I mean, we went 2 windows without spending money. We've got to be in a position where we can now spend money to almost catch up with all the other spending that all the other clubs have done, and we haven't. And the other thing is, if you're Daniel Levy and Enoch and you're thinking, right, I'm going to hold back on the money here. I'm going to wait to sell Kane, and then I'm going to sign a player. But the players that we wanted have now moved to another club. Have moved to Barcelona. Have moved to Man City. Have moved to Real Madrid. They moved to PSG. We have to be at the forefront of signing these players before the inevitable happens. And it has to happen. We have to sign a centre back in January, and we have to sign. I would say second priority is the box-to-box midfielder, and I say third priority is the striker, because Kane might turn around in January in the summer and go, we might have won the Europa Conference League or whatever. We might have won the
things are going well, and he's enjoying
League Cup. Exactly. Conte's changed his mind. He's suddenly sit on Spurs. Don't forget the guy is Spurs through and through. The reason why he wants to move is because we aren't winning anything. If a miracle happens and we do win something this year, he might well turn around and go, actually, I'll sign a contract now, guys. I'm going to stay. And we've got Vlahovic, who's sitting on the bench at £80 million. And it's just I think the centre back's the priority. It really is.
Yeah, the Vlahovic thing is a very tough decision, and it's a difficult one, as you say, because we don't get him and maybe someone else signs him. In fact, someone else probably does sign him, if not in January, in the summer. And if we do get him, then Kane could stay. And then we've got Son as well, obviously playing up there, and it's a bit of a mess.
Spot on. I'm going to get through some comments because I got a bit behind on these. Appreciate all the support guys coming in now. CD says this January show the intentions. I've already read that, so clearly I need some sleep in a minute. The truth sets you free. Big up SpursRelated. Big up yourself, mate. And pleasure to see you here again from the Harris Army. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good day. CD also says, I think our most important is a creative midfielder and a backup to Kane. We can make do with our defenders. See, I have to disagree with you, CD. I think that time to move on for these players that make mistakes, and we can't just wander the wand. Great English. We can't just magic the wand, the Conte wand, and go, here you go, Dyer, you're now world class. Here you go, Sanchez, you know, world class. It's not going to happen. Mistakes will still happen, and we need a solid left centre back. We can't be clutching onto straws and saying Ben Davies at left centre back. Yes, it's all right for the time being, but it's like papering over cracks. It just can't happen. It can't happen anymore. I want to see Rodon play more. Sue says, Sean agreed.
Same.
Why is the guy not getting game time? Please, Conte, recognise he's an absolute talent. Marcelino says, my only concern is if we do get Vlahovic and play two up front, what happens to Sonny? He's probably going to have to move to number 10 or something. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I agree. I like we're saying. I think Vlahovic is only a signing that will happen when or if we sell Kane. I do not think Vlahovic will come with the attention of being a backup. And if you're going with your idea of two up front, like you said, that moves Sonny off. Like, what happens to Lucas Moura at number 10 and Ndombele? You know, I think we have to see an exit before. We have to see an exit before Vlahovic comes in my opinion. I just can't see it at the moment.
Or we'll just sign a backup striker that's happy to play backup.
Yeah, exactly. My head is saying it won't happen. I just don't think Vlahovic is coming in January. It will be a summer transfer if it happens. It'll probably be if Kane goes. Let's see. Sean's also saying, think Dele's head is somewhere else. Recent Insta post hiding the phone he is using. Can't see him back. Yeah, what was that all about? What were your thoughts on that? So he posted an image, and he was showing off his Louis Vuitton shoes. You know, he's doing a fashion show, you know, for boohooman.com, Louis Vuitton. He's got all his sponsorship deals. Suddenly he's a fashion icon rather than a football player. But that's my little passive-aggressive rant.
Yeah.
In terms of like the picture, he's taken it in a mirror, and he's covered up his phone with like an emoji, like a sticker. Now, I don't understand what it really meant, but he was hiding something. Maybe, you know, he's got...
Do you not think it was because he recently did an advert for the Huawei Honor phone lineup, and maybe he doesn't want to show that he's got an iPhone or something?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I did see something about that potentially, but yeah, people always read into stuff, Sean. That's the thing. People always read into stuff, no matter, you know, negative, positive. It's always going to be talks about, oh, does that mean he's leaving and stuff like that. Personally speaking, I
it was the back of his phone.
It was the back of his phone, which
probably just said it's an iPhone. He wants to cover
it. Luis Muriel too. Yeah, Luis Muriel. He's a good player. He's quite old, isn't he?
We'll check. I'm not actually sure. Luis Muriel, to look. He's 30.
So 30, yeah.
30, yeah.
Yeah, see, I think we need to be signing the likes of a player that's just going to be an unbelievable player for the next few seasons, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think, you know, Vlahovic does tick all those boxes, and people saying so there's other options in there. Gakpo for PSV, he's been talked about. I know Jack Kinnicky from Euro Talk Flat Cap Euro Talk, is said good things about him. Cody Gakpo from PSV, young player with a lot of potential. Do we sign a young player or do we go with experience? Luis Muriel, he's a good player. He's proven himself at Villarreal. He's proven himself at Atalanta. He's proven himself at Sevilla. But I just don't think that's the signing. I don't.
I think it's a bit of a pity we missed out on Patson Daka. And Leicester gone, he would have been a nice backup. Yeah, it's a bit stupid to talk about it now. But
and he went for a reasonable fee as well. And I'm thinking, like, you know, why have we not, you know, had a look at him?
Strange. I don't know. No, yeah,
I really don't know.
does look promising, and obviously scoring already 4 in the Europa League in one game for Leicester, which was nice for them. But yeah, and they've got options obviously with Iheanacho and Vardy and now Patson Daka. That's 3 good strikers. I know Vardy and Iheanacho usually play together, but still one of them.
So what would we do? Like in Leicester's situation, they're in such a nice spot. They got 3 strikers to choose from. We have 1.
Yeah. Well, Son could. I don't see anything wrong with Son taking the role if he's on the left and Kane's in the center. But now when we're playing 2 at once, that's the problem.
No, it's this. I have to disagree. It's this whole thing about papering over the cracks. Playing players out of position. Ben Davies left centre back.
Are we talking about during an injury or just permanently? We had to replace as a replacement.
I know what you're saying,
and I agree.
But I still think we should have a backup striker on the bench.
Yeah,
I mean, every other club in the Premier League does, and we don't. Like, why?
I was more talking about like where we are now compared to Leicester, like because you're saying Leicester has 3 strikers, and I was saying because we obviously they play Iheanacho and Vardy together usually, and they have Daka who can come in if someone gets injured or move to 1 up front. I was just saying that I wouldn't. I mean, against the lineup we went with against Man City and for most of the Wolves game at the beginning of the season, with Son up front was fine for then. But as you said, we should have a backup, and we should try and not paper over the cracks and rather just fill them with cement.
The truth sets you free said, if we don't sign Vlahovic, dirty rotten Arsenal will. They'll get their cofters in on that one. Excuse the brevity. That was a voice text that messed up his name. I mean, very minor spelling mistake. Don't worry about it. 30 off the bench. Look at his goals per minute. He's maybe an option. I've not heard Lewis Muriel's name been mentioned. This is the name that we've been mentioning a lot. Isaac would be a nice option. Yeah. Completely agree with you, Dexter Kane. Absolutely unbelievable. And that guy is.
To me, he's a bit like a Patson Daka who's already progressed past where Patson Daka is now. Very pacey.
Skillful, very good at dribbling. Very good feet.
That's a nice option that I can agree with 100%.
Love Delhi.
That's someone who not only would fit the role as a backup now, but could potentially grow into a replacement for Kane if necessary in the future, which is nice.
For sure. Love Delhi's not getting the service he was getting from Ericsson, bringing someone creative. Thing is, he's not playing the position he was playing before, is he? Really, he's playing a much deeper role. He's not playing behind the striker like he used to, and I think Delhi's time's up. I mean, I think he's got to go in January unless something severely happens till then. I mean, the guy's been on the fringes now for a good 2 seasons.
Yeah.
He's lost his head. I don't know what's going on in terms of, his focus in football doesn't seem to be there anymore. We've gone from this young, bright, prospect that's absolutely buzzing with energy. He's absolutely excited every minute he's on the pitch to this player that looks like, we're torturing him to be on the pitch. Yeah. You can't have that in a club. It's part of the problem with toxicity in the changing room. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know if you agree. I think his time's up.
I think it is, as you say, unless something does change drastically. And also, we all talk about his potential and reaching his potential. He's 25 now. He's had a long time to reach that potential. Some would say he's already past the point of being able to grow to what his full potential would be anyway. It's unfortunate that it's
exactly
like this.
Spot on. I mean, look at Eric Lamela. We had him since 2013. We only just got rid of him this year, and it's like, Eric Lamela will come good. He's got potential, and we sold him when he's like 30.
He was plagued with injuries, though. That was almost different because Delhi isn't injured that much. He just doesn't really put in as much effort as he should. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't really have the hunger.
Yeah, he doesn't
anymore, at least.
Yeah, exactly that. What do you guys think about Spurs being Lecter Frank Kessié? Please sign the guy.
Signing. Yeah.
Please sign the guy. He is our answer to pretty much being the next Moussa Dembele. The guy is unbelievable in an AC Milan shirt. Please sign him up. Daniel Levy, get your checkbook out. Please don't give him any under 1 million. I'm going to try and get a bargain stuff. Just put the money on the table. This is not a Lo Celso. This is not an Ndombele where we're not really sure what we're getting. This is a world-class player that has been, a world-class player for 1 or 2 seasons now. And, the guy, I think he would come to Tottenham in a heartbeat. I really do. I mean, the only thing is AC Milan are getting European football and we're not. But Would he want to come and work under Antonio Conte? 110%.
I think so.
110%. So, we've got that magnet now, that lure, to people wanting to join the club. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Frank Kessié, Marcelino is certainly one we should be looking at. Not instead of Vlahovic off the bench with him and Kane. Do you know Luis Muriel? I'll have the best goals. Did you know Luis Muriel has the best goals per minute last year in Europe? He's so dangerous. He is, and Atalanta team scores for fun as well. You got Duvan Zapata up front is someone we haven't really discussed. Very, very good striker, a bit like a Romelu Lukaku, a real presence, powerful, very good at shooting. Why has his name not been thrown around? Duvan Zapata.
Well, I mean, there's so many options at this point, especially if you're talking about a backup striker. We're not talking about a replacement for Kane. There's no one really who could do that at the moment. Well, at least within our price range, even if we sell him. So I feel like with backup strikers, there will be a lot of names that aren't mentioned because there are a lot of options. We're just, even in the stream now, we're constantly coming up with new names that could fit on that list, and I think we can't really mention everyone.
Just let's get one of them. I mean, there's 3 signings that have to happen in January. That is that centre back, that centre midfield player like a Kessié, and it's that striker. And I don't know how much confidence you have, but I don't want to say 0 confidence, but if we're saying 1 to 10, I have 2 confidence that we will sign all 3. Please Tottenham Hotspur, prove me wrong for once. That we're going to do the business. We're going to sign the players that we so desperately need. By the way,
yes. I mean, defender and creative mid would be up there, but I think obviously a backup striker is very important too. But if I was only able to choose having 2 of them, probably choose those.
Yeah, agreed. Pedro Gonçalves would be a great attacking midfielder in my option. I've heard that name in terms of being floated around before. Spurs missed out on Bruno. Get the guy that replaced him and put up better numbers. If you in terms of what you mean about actually the proper bidding this time, that would be great. I mean, we were interested in Bruno Fernandes. We messed around with the bid. I mean, it's just like we can't go back to this. Like, just please put money on the table. They make £1 million every time there's an event at that stadium in pints. Where does that go? They host events. They host sports conferencing events. They host NFL games. They host stadium tours. They host skywalks. They host, stadium experiences. What else do they host? They host boxing. I mean, please, like, for the love of God, don't tell me that we don't have money. Like, please do not tell me. Daniel Levy even came out in his PR and said we're stable after COVID. We're in a very fortunate position. Fantastic, brilliant news. Now put your pen to paper on that checkbook and start signing some players to make this club back to what it was, a top 4 club every season pretty much. Challenging for the league, challenging for domestic trophies. At the moment, we're going backwards as a club. It has to change. And I don't want to be sitting here in 2 months' time at the end of January saying, why didn't we sign this player? He went to Inter Milan. Why didn't we sign this player? He went to Barcelona. Why didn't we sign this player? Because he ended up at Man City. We do it time and time again in transfer windows. This has to change. We are a big club. We are a big club. People will take the piss. We are a big club. We've got a massive stadium, probably the best in the world. We've got amazing training facilities. We've got one of the best managers in the world now to attract players. We've got ridiculous funds in terms of the fact we've come out of COVID in a good position. Yes, we're in billions of pounds of debt, but that has to be erased from the memory. We're taking on a challenge. We're taking on a project that has to now be developed. We have to put the furniture in the stadium. We have to put the furniture in the house that we built. There's no point going to, building an absolute mansion and going to Poundland to put your bloody, chairs and tables in. Let's get rid of this out of our head. Let's invest in this club now so we have a bright future.
Well said.
Yeah, I'm out. See you later, guys. Right. Sorry, I just went off on one there a bit. We need Bruno. I don't think we're getting Bruno, to be honest with you.
That's I don't think that'll happen.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. But who would you prefer, Skriniar or De Vrij?
Skriniar.
Yeah, but hang on though, because there's the whole. It's not really the age thing. It's more to do with the sort of the style of centre back they are, because obviously you've got Stefan De Vrij, who
Oh yeah,
you know,
true.
is some player, and would he fit that left centre back, you know, position better than Skriniar? I think
It's true.
probably he would. I mean, I don't know. What are your opinions?
I don't know. I thought about it sort of as a Skriniar versus De Vrij as a player. I would have chosen Skriniar, but thinking of where they fit in, that does raise some differences, I suppose. De Vrij left-footed?
You know, he's right-footed, but I mean, he
It's
has
not, it's
played
not
left.
huge. Yeah.
I think he plays left centre back for Inter Milan, but whereas Skriniar, I think he's more of the Romero role. He's a ball-playing
Yes.
defender where, you know, he's going to bring
Yeah.
the ball out. He's going to be that centre back. Don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not going to say no to Skriniar, but I think
I get what you mean.
I mean, Bastoni's the one that everyone's saying he's got a ridiculous price tag on him. You know, the 22-year-old defender for Inter Milan. He's got a market value of like £80 million.
But with Skriniar and De Vrij, I mean, I wouldn't really complain with either. I don't know. I think it's very close between them anyway. It's pretty much just comes down to the style and the role they be playing and whether they be rotated between roles or not, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Bastoni, like I said, he's a left-footed defender. He's 22 years of age. They're tipping him to be, you know, the next proper centre back. You know, Italian centre back. You know, why not? Let's try and get him in. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if we can afford him, which, as you said, we probably should be able to, then sure. Why not? Absolutely. Why not get him and another one for the right?
Hey, he gave you legendary Rabona in Derby, crazy Lamella. Oh, and a red card. You know, thanks for the memories, Coco. But unfortunately, you scored about 2 goals every 10 years. So it was time to go. And I like Lamella's passion, but you know, he had to go.
Of course, I like Lamella, but he did. It was. I don't think anyone was complaining when he moved, especially because it was part of a move that brought us Brian Hill. You know, it was fine.
Maxime, welcome to the stream, mate. He says now Scarlett is too young to be Kane's substitute. If Kane gets injured in the system of Conte, we have no one in the bench. Exactly this. I still don't understand that Tottenham hasn't recruited anyone this summer. I mean, it has to happen in January. We have to sign a centre back. But I completely agree. There is no excuse anymore that we sign. You know, these players. We don't sign players, and we paper over the cracks with you know, positions like, oh yeah, someone will play up front, or yeah, Davies will play left centre back. Like, come on, it just can't be happening. You wouldn't see it in other sports, you know, I don't know American football very well, but you can't just suddenly play like you know, a quarterback in you know, a different position, can you? Like, that's what they're trained to do.
Do you also only know the position of quarterback in American football? Because that's the only one I'm aware of. I would have made the exact same analogy. I would have said you can't play someone as a quarterback and then realize
so I thought I'd disappear because I didn't have an answer. No, I don't even know. I don't really watch NFL, but quarterback.
The analogy is
probably should have gone for another sport. But anyway,
the point's the same.
The point is the same. The point is the same. Guys, we're going through a few more comments, so if you have a few more questions, ask us now, because we'll be wrapping up the stream very shortly, so get your questions in the chat. Damasio said that Vlahovic has an agreement with the team. I feel like he might go to Juve after his contract runs out. I hope I'm wrong. I can see him at Juve. It's a very good point. He might want to stay in Serie A potentially. You know,
with Juve losing Ronaldo,
it makes sense, doesn't it? You know, they've lost Ronaldo. Morata's, you know, inconsistent.
That'd be a great move for them.
Kovalevsky, or whatever his name is.
You
know,
he's
just
a winger.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. They need a striker, don't they?
Yeah.
Like,
I think he's referring.
Right, it's the previous
time.
Yeah. So like an Ings, exactly, and he's gone to Villa, who are struggling. Where there is a way, there is a will. The other way round, because, you know, again, I've butchered the words tonight, guys. Sorry about that. Where there is a will, there is a way. You're just looking for a poor man's Bruno. If you can't get the extra man, he's by far overall attacking midi the best one. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to leave United. I mean, it would have to.
I think what he's saying is, like, there's no point settling for these people that might be like
him after the fact, because we can't get the original player.
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's a really good point, but I don't think we are going to get a sort of Bruno Fernandes type of player. Lamela was awful. The Rabona was sublime, and no one else can do it. Piece of art and enjoy it. Yeah, it's one for the archives, my friend. It's one to look back on and say, Eric Lamela, what an absolute baller for like certain points in his Tottenham career.
Perfectly summed up his entire time in Tottenham. He scores one
goal
ridiculous
of the season
goal.
and gets sent off.
One ridiculous goal. It's for the first time in ages, and he's sent off. That's just his Tottenham's career summed up in one game.
Exactly that. Exactly. I can't agree more. That did sum him up to a T, didn't it? But guys, that is all for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully we get the win against Leeds on Sunday. I'm going with that 3-1. Remember that now. Michael's going with the 2-0 or 2-1. Michael, I'm going to 2-1 is your final answer. Guys, enjoy the game. Come on, you Spurs. Michael, thank you for joining us. And guys,
thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks for joining. Make sure if you're still in the stream, you hit the thumbs up button on YouTube, on Facebook, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and we'll see you again next week, guys. Take care and come on, you Spurs.